Benjah, what's up, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed. It's a beautiful Friday out here in Miami Beach, loving life.
Oh man, that must be great. It's raining over where I'm at because I know I'm not too far from you. I'm near West Palm Beach or near Boca Raton, if you're familiar with the area. So how's the weather over there?
It
Like,
is actually a little bit gray, but it's still beautiful. It's beautiful because we're alive and we have air in our lungs.
oh yeah, and we're in South Florida, man.
That's right.
So how's the whole COVID situation been for you recently?
Honestly, it's been really tough because I just moved here about a year ago. So, and I bought a townhouse I was renovating and building a studio in, which we're in right now, the studio. And so by the time I was kind of done renovating is when all the lockdown happened. So right when I was getting ready to kind of venture out, meet people and like whatever, like start to build my new tribe, like it's not an option. So the isolation actually has really been tough for me
Hmm.
because it's been like way longer for me because I was working so hard on my house and alone most of the time. So I'm over it, bro. I'm ready for things to open up, and I know slowly they are. But isolation is terrible, especially for anybody like with depression or anxiety. And I'm
Oh
really
yeah.
isolated 'cause I don't live with family or friends. I live by myself. So it's like it's just not healthy, man. Like suicide rate has been out the roof. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it to be done.
Oh man, that's a big difference. I mean, from Orlando, if people aren't too familiar with it, I mean, obviously it's a big city, but it's kind of spread out. It's not like a really metro city like Miami Beach. So I can see how you have different expectations or you're kind of used to a different vibe coming from Orlando to Miami and you're expecting to like have more things to do around and then boom, COVID hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was crazy. So, and then I think I underestimated, or actually, I didn't even think about it um, because I didn't think we'd be on lockdown.
Yeah.
That's also why I think about it. But I didn't take into account how hard it is to actually build a new tribe, new friends,
Oh
new
yeah.
family. Like I've been in Orlando a long time, so I had 20 years to build the amazing family that was around me.
Oh yeah.
And I guess I underestimated or didn't even think about it, but that's a major thing when you move. Like,
Oh
and
yeah.
I did know a couple people here, but most of them are either married or have kids or both. So like their time is not really on their side because
Oh
in
yeah.
South Florida, just to get anywhere is an hour. Like
Yeah.
just to go
Yeah.
see your friends, like an hour anywhere you go.
Yeah.
So it's been tough, bro. But I think we see some light at the end of the tunnel here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. Cool. Well, I gotta talk about this album that you came out with, would be considered your sophomore album under the Loved Ones brand. So, how's this record different from the first one that came out?
So it's been 6 years. A lot has happened in 6 years. The first record did absolutely amazing for a freshman album. And I think rightfully so. I think he deserved it. As I go back, actually, I just listened to it for the first time in years. I haven't heard it in years. And I listened to it front to back last week. And so I got to listen to it with totally new ears. I had forgot so much of how I produced that, how I wrote that, all
Yeah.
those things. So going back and listening to it, like I was really highly impressed with it. But also, I hear a lot of things I would change, and do better. So within 6 years, man, I've become such a better producer, such a better writer, a better mixer. I'm just better artist. I'm way better at videos than I was back then. Like everything is just better because I've been working so hard, through my solo brand, the Benjah brand, which is more of an urban brand. But so how is it different? I feel the production is better. I feel the writing is better. Um, Mixing, the videos are incredible. Um, yeah, I think it's a step up, but content wise, it's also very different because a lot. I spent a lot of time in Hawaii when I was making this, and it's a special vibe there. But also last year was a special time for me because I was gonna move. I didn't know where. I thought I might move to Hawaii or South Florida. I didn't know. So there's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress that comes with that. So this album is reflects that, and how it reflects that is in my need for guidance and my need for seeking the Most High for that guidance and my. So you hear that in a lot of songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think this album is special because of what I was going through within the last year that I wrote it is very reflected. And anxiety was pretty heavy this last year because of that move. Um, I experienced anxiety on a level like crippling anxiety that I've never experienced. So like a lot of songs kind of touch on that and talking about like I want a new mind or I want to renew my mind or like just crying out to God for help. Really, you hear a lot in this album, but you also hear a lot of joyful songs too because Hawaii will bring that vibe. And
Oh, yeah.
Hawaiian music is more written from that. Where like Yardman music is more written from a rebel standpoint, and like Hawaiian music is more generally just more positive and uplifting. So you hear that. That's how it's different.
No, that's great. And on this album, you actually worked with Jameer Morgan from Morgan Heritage. So how did that collaboration happen?
Yeah, pretty organically to be honest. My drummer, shout out to Sean Drums, Nashawn Thomas from BVI, British Virgin Islands. He's been my guy from day one. Literally, like I took him right out of high school basically, and kind of taught him the industry and how I wanted him to drum on because my fusion. Um, so I taught him a lot. But anyway, he's an incredible drummer, and there's no one that I'll ever work with other than him for live drums. But he knew him, so they were friends already. Nashawn's dad is friends with Gramps, which is
Oh,
Jameer's dad.
yeah.
So like they kind of had a family thing going on. And I've also met Pita Morgan before in the airport in Orlando because a lot of the Morgans live just outside of Orlando.
Okay.
So got to meet him and connect with him. And I'll definitely put Pita's one of my favorite singers, so he'll be on a
Oh, yeah.
song one day for sure. So yeah, it was kind of a natural connection. It was already there. We knew each other. We've seen each other at concerts. So when I hit him up, it was pretty natural. Sent him a couple tunes. He liked the first one, but he didn't record it. So I sent him another one. He's like, this is the one. And that's the song that we did. So yeah. And funny thing about that song is, or not funny, but interesting fact is when I moved down here, Jameer moved down here.
Oh,
So I was like, bro, let's do a video.
yeah, yeah.
He's like, 100. The day of our video is like the day of COVID starts to explode, or it's been kind
Oh,
of
man.
exploding, but it gets crazy, and they're
Oh,
starting
yeah.
to lock people down. And like, so I'm calling like, yo, we getting ready. Here's the time. Here's the address. He's like, bro, I don't know, man. Like, this is kind of crazy out here.
Yeah.
It's like he almost shut it down. Like I had to convince
Oh,
my bro,
man.
listen, like I'm not gonna be all over you. Like we don't even have to touch each other. We're not gonna be around other people. Like we have to shoot this, bro.
Oh, yeah.
So thank God, thank you, Jameer, for doing it because he almost didn't want to. But I love that video. It really shows Miami in a new way. It looks
Oh,
like a
yeah.
third world country, man.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that's a lot of what Miami is, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So it captures a vibe for sure.
You've done other
Oh man,
collaborations, like example, Leilani Wolfgram was you did a song with her. So are you wanting to do other collaborations with other artists?
man, I mean, so what a lot of people don't know about me is like I'm a producer and a writer and an engineer way before I'm an artist. So collaborating is very natural for me. I actually
Hmm.
prefer it. And fun fact is I didn't want to be an artist. I wanted to be a writer and producer, but honestly at the time it was too hard. It was easier for me to get noticed as an artist than it was for me to have a career as a writer and producer. Because when I put out my own music as an artist, I'm showcasing everything I do versus just trying to shop music to artists or bands. Like it's really hard as a young unknown person that really I probably didn't make good music at the time. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it really just happened that it worked like that. I didn't want to, but I also feel like maybe that's one reason why it did work because I didn't want it, or I wasn't starving for the stage or starving for attention. Like I'm not that person. I'm really introverted. You know, to be honest, I'm a studio rat. I just want to be creating music in the studio.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes me unique. You know, comparative to different artists. You know what I mean? Other artists. Most of them are just artists. You know.
Yeah. Speaking of this Supply album, man, I love the album. And one of my favorite songs, which from what I understand is a pretty special song to you, is Every Moment. So why is that song so meaningful to you?
Yeah, I wrote it, or me and my production partner Sky, we produced it the night before I left for Hawaii last year, and I didn't have a return flight. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a pretty crazy moment. It was really emotional to say the least. And usually when we produce a track, I never write to it that night because usually I'm pretty drained from producing. It takes so much creative energy out of me. But the chords were so fire, and it was like chord structure we had never used. And I think my emotions were such at a high, my adrenaline was such at a high. I wrote the whole song that night, and it talks about embracing the moment, hold me in your heart and embrace every moment because I'm leaving, like, and literally everybody's leaving. Like no one's here forever, right? Like
Yeah.
anyone that you love in your life could be gone today or tomorrow or the next. So it's just a call to embrace the people you love. It's a call to be grateful. Um, so it is a very special song for that reason. And then at the bridge of that song, it kind of hits on the anxiety stuff I was dealing with when I talk about, like I just want to free up my mind. Meaning my mind was so clouded with thoughts and doubt and anxiety, like free up my mind, free up my mind, like
Yeah.
crying out to God because I've tried all I can do to free it and I can't do it on my own. So clearly I need help from the Most High.
Yeah. You mentioned about going to Hawaii, and I mean, it's being based mainly in Florida. What brings you to go to Hawaii? Is it usually just for music inspiration or for other reasons?
Bro, like Hawaii has this special vibe about it, and you never really know what it is till you go there. But I don't even think you know what it is till you go there and you hang out with locals. That's even if you can get accepted by locals, because much like the American Indians, they're oppressed and it's frustrating and saddening. But the aloha culture is incredible,
Hmm.
and I've never been anywhere where I felt more at home because everything that like true Hawaiians do is like what I'm already doing in my life, and I'm not trying to
Yeah.
copy or emulate them. They
Yeah.
hunt, fish, they surf, and they love reggae music and they love God
Oh,
and
yeah.
respect the land.
Yeah.
They grow, they're organic. So everything that I'm passionate about is Hawaiian.
Oh, man.
And it's one of the few islands that has all those things in that culture. Like I've been to tons of other islands all
Yeah.
over the Caribbean, and I have never felt the warmth or love that I felt in Hawaii. But then also like all those things I just stated. No, none of those islands have all that or do all that as their culture. So like when I go there, it's just special to me because it's literally everything that I live and breathe for is on a small island. It's not, you don't
Hmm.
gotta travel far. You can do it all in one day. And not to mention its natural beauty.
Oh, yeah.
It's God art everywhere you look.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that's what draws me there, and like I just can't get enough of it. Like living here in Miami or in Florida, anywhere in Florida, like it's not the same, bro. Like I don't want to raise kids here. Like when I think the people I want my kids to be around, I don't want them to be around this.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I grew up in the country, so like that's also the reason why I love Hawaii. Like it's
Hmm.
has that real country vibe. Like you, something I've noticed about the country is there's I'd like to call it something like a natural accountability. Like you can't do someone wrong because everyone knows who you are and
Yeah.
they're going to see you. Or in a big city, you can do so many wrong or evil things because
Oh,
you
yeah.
can go hide.
Yeah.
Where in like a small community, people know you, bro. You
Yeah.
can't do people wrong. So
Yeah.
the accountability in that is massive, and it shapes the way people live because you can't be a dirtbag.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, obviously there is dirt bags, but like you'll be known, so no one will mess with you.
Yeah. I lived in the Pacific Islands for a little bit and I got into kava
Yeah.
a lot there. So I don't know if you got into that when you were in Hawaii.
I actually got into it in Orlando. Decent
Oh,
Polynesian
yeah.
community there. Yeah, with you mentioned Leilani Wolfgram, so they're from there. And Zach Wolfgram is her brother, if you don't know, and he's all over all my stuff from Horizon. Um, but yeah, there's Polynesian, Tongan, and Samoan little community there, and a kava bar, and that's when I started drinking kava. And then honestly, I don't even think I've had some of it in Hawaii, but it's not as popular in Hawaii as a lot of people might think, which is
Okay.
funny. Yeah, or at least in Oahu, it's not as popular. Like I don't see a lot of people mixing, but here and there.
I'm curious because you actually been working on the Loved Ones brand for probably like several years, if longer than that. So, what made you want to really separate the reggae music from the Benja brand?
Well, at first, like I knew like if I was gonna do something more in the pop realm or urban pop realm, that I got a timer. You know what I'm saying? Like I only have so much time.
Hmm.
Where in the reggae realm, you can be more accepted if you're older. Where in the pop realm, like you only have whatever certain amount of years. So because I had a desire and a love for the music, like I knew so strategically, I did pursued that first. All the way knowing like I'm gonna do reggae music for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me get this out of my system so I never have to wonder what if or those type of things. Like that's something that I lived by because I used to be really hesitant, like back in the day. So much that it ate away at me that I vowed to myself that I don't ever want to wonder what if. So if I'm passionate about something or feel very strongly about something, I need to do it or pursue it so that I never have to ask myself that question. I
Yeah.
have the answer to it. So um, that's why I separated the brands because I wanted to pursue, more of an urban lane that I still love to this day. You know what I'm saying? I still love urban music, but reggae music is my soul.
Oh, yeah.
So like when I sit down just to make music, that's what I make. Like I make reggae music. So that's what comes out of me naturally. And that's the only style of music that I can produce fully on my own. When I do any other style, I bring in other producers to co-produce with me just because I need the help. But
Hmm.
reggae I make completely out of my own heart. So it's special to me. It's a rebel music. It's soul music. It's a music for the people. It's a positive light. It's you can literally sing the proverbs or psalms like Bob did and just uplift the people. And I want to be associated with music like that, light music, anti-anxiety music. I was actually on my live earlier today, and I was explaining to people BPM, beats per minute. So like most reggae is in the 70s BPM, 70 to 80 BPM. A lot slower reggae is in the 60s, 65. I love that BPM. It's a calming BPM. It's not fast because I'm so in tune with music. My body like morphs to whatever I'm listening to. So if you're listening to stuff that's fast, my heart starts racing.
Oh,
That
wow.
triggers anxiety for me.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people might do that and they don't even know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So reggae music, even hip hop, a lot of it is slower. That's why I like it. But anybody that does struggle with anxiety, listen to slow music, reggae music, roots.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna alleviate because it's gonna slow your heart
Oh,
rate.
yeah.
I didn't listen to any American reggae for, and I'm sure you probably hear that from a lot of my first music. Like it didn't sound too American. It sounded real yard music
Yeah.
because that's what I listened to. Capleton, Buju, Sizzla, you know what I'm saying? Beast, real OGs in the game.
Yeah.
Um, full, strong voices, prophets, like real spiritual
Oh, yeah.
dudes that come with a mission and a purpose. Rebels. Bob was a rebel too. So that aligns with like how I think and who I am. So like that's what I listen to. And then Jay Book hits the scene. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
who's this? I'm like, man, this is kind of fire. And then I start to get more acquainted with more Hawaiian or Samoan or Tongan reggae artists, and I absolutely love them because they're real singers. I believe reggae music is a mission filled music. It's not just a fluff genre just to go drinking with your buddies. Like it's a rebel music. It's for the people. It's to uplift. It's for equal rights. You know what I'm saying? It's to fight for good things, not just party with. Although you can make party jams, I'm not saying you can't. But yeah, so I started with a lot of yard music. Um, Garnet Silk, you know what I'm saying? Dennis Brown,
Yeah.
like big, 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 big artists. And then kind of fell in love with Hawaiian music after that. I still love them both. I think our music should be full of purpose and full of mission, and every word should be well thought out, and we're not just throwing words together for no reason. Because
Yeah.
literally everything you put out, it's gonna exist forever, and it could either uplift people forever or bring them down.
Yeah.
So
So something that's really interesting that I noticed behind you is actually the logo, if correct me if I'm wrong, but for your loved ones brand. So how'd you actually come up with that cool logo?
yeah, Dillavu, which was and hopefully will be in the future too, is a massive part of Loved Ones. He was all over the first album, and it's a great friend and brother of mine. And I think he just had this picture, some art that someone had done, and it was not looked nothing like this, but it was a star day with a lion in it, and it gave me the idea to do it my own way. And so I hooked up with my brother-in-law, which does art and graphics and branding and all that. He's done all my website and design for most of my career. Thank God to him to help me look professional. I linked up with him actually when we were out in Dominican Republic a million years ago, obviously, because this is before any Loved One stuff came out. So yeah, that's kind of how it started. Dillavu had some random lion picture that I liked, and I got the idea, and I met up, and it's evolved over the years a lot,
Mm.
because if you go back to the first one, it doesn't so much look like a lion; it looks more like a Pink Panther. But we've got it down pretty awesome now, and I love it. I think it's a amazing, strong brand, like that can be way bigger than just the music. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a clothing line, it could be a brand, just a whole lifestyle brand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for the future.
Yeah.
But honestly, Benjah and Loved Ones we're becoming one, um, and that's why I attached my name to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah.
was just Loved Ones because I wanted the separation. Well, now I don't. This is who Benjah is.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if you kept up with any of my Benjah stuff. My last two EPs were fusion EPs, like fusing me back to roots. Like, they were kind of more dancehall-y, Afro beat,
Oh yeah.
all Caribbean but urban. You know what I'm saying? To transition that, to help my fans understand. Even though I've been doing reggae this whole time, my first song, even Benjah's first song, "Fly Away" with Dillavu, is a straight reggae banger. My very first video ever, um, 2009. You know what I'm saying? So my first big song was a roots banger. So it's natural, but I wanted it to be a seamless thing, because I did even get heavy into some trap music in the time. So that trap music's kind of far from roots.
Yeah.
So I had to like ease them back in.
Yeah. And you mentioned about like you being a producer and producing your music. And something I saw that's interesting is that you have the media company Jahmen Media. So
Yeah.
how'd you get involved with the background side of music? Because you're pretty heavily involved with a lot of the visuals and just, I mean, you mentioned just producing and making your own music.
Yeah. Um, the way I got behind the scenes with music is that's how I started. As an engineer, became a producer, became a writer, became an artist. That was my evolution in music. Now in video, I was in the very beginning, I wasn't shooting or involved at all because I didn't know anything. But this is just like the first album, or first two albums. Then after I shot a couple of videos and I was talking to some people, they're like, "Why are you hiring a director and a producer when you're producing the whole film and you're directing it?"
Oh
I
yeah.
said, "I am." I didn't even know I was, but
Yeah.
I was directing and producing the whole music video, and I'm paying them for their service. So they loved me at the time because I was doing all the work. All they were doing is being the DP, the cameraman.
Yeah.
So um, when I learned that I stopped hiring, I said, "I'm not going to hire you as a director and DP if you're only going to be DP. So I'm cutting your rate in half. I'm going to hire you as a DP." So I
Hmm.
started hiring all my guys as DPs, and I just kept doing what I was doing, producing and directing the films. And I've just gotten better over the years. Um, and now that, so I've been directing and producing almost most of my career. Within the last 2 years, I've picked up more. I picked up shooting and I picked up editing. Not really because I wanted to, but out of kind of necessity to get my vision out. And because when I travel, I gotta travel light. I can't afford to bring a cameraman everywhere I go and house them and feed them and
Oh
pay
yeah.
them. So but I can afford to buy a camera and I can learn. So
Oh
I
yeah.
did. And, like basically the last 2 years, I've shot all my videos. And just this recent one is the first one I edited, um, Frontline, the surfing one here in South Beach. Um, you know, I basically, that happened as a fluke, bro. I was editing a vlog. So I've been editing like vlogs for years, you know,
Yeah.
documentary type stuff, where to me, it don't take a lot of skill, but music videos takes insane skill to edit.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize I've been getting good over the years. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I started editing this surfing vlog. I'm like, man, this is, and the first song I put to was Frontline. I'm like, man, this is, this footage and this song, like it's working. It's really working. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
started chopping it up, chopping it up, chopping it up. I was like, bro, all I gotta do is go record a couple performance shots, throw them in there, and we have a music video because it's already so fire.
Yeah.
So I did it. You know what I'm saying? And so every time I learn another skill, it's cutting my costs in half to finish it. And that means it's more money that I can put into the marketing, which is dope because that gets to hopefully expand my fan base and grow, you know? So that's kind of how that happened, man. It happened because I wasn't what I envisioned. I'm
Oh yeah.
so hands on and I have such a vision that I've had problems with every editor, and I know they've had problems with me because I want it a certain way, and it's so
Yeah.
hard to try to communicate via words or via text or
Oh yeah.
emails. So I almost took it on out of necessity because it's the only way to get out the way I want it. And believe it or not, because I'm so quick at editing audio, editing video is very similar. So my
Oh yeah.
workflow is getting quick, and like I edited, like once I had the surfing stuff all laid out. Once I got my performance shots, I edited all that in a couple hours.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like, which most times I give my stuff to my editors and they can give me stuff for a week or two.
Oh yeah.
So it's like now I can start banging stuff out. I don't gotta wait on nobody, and I just gotta hire my dude to do color correction and little post edits. You know,
Hmm.
so that's amazing. Feel super blessed to be able to do that because I love music videos. I love visuals, and I know fans do too. Honestly, I think my music videos is why I'm at where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Without my music videos, I don't think I would be known. You know what I'm saying? Like, because songs alone are cool, but when you put a visual to it, especially when it comes from the artist, like now you're getting to see what I saw when I wrote this
Yeah.
or when I created. Like these are the vibes I was feeling. So now you're getting a multi-sensory experience all from here. It all came from my heart. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's special. I think it's special. And it's a way for fans to really connect with my world. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I love creating visuals, and I'm excited to keep it. Like with this new leaf I turned over with editing now, like I'm gonna start pumping these out. We're shooting another video here in the next couple of weeks. I'll edit that and it'll be out in another couple of weeks. So really excited.
No, that's amazing. And I mean, I saw the latest video that you came out with, and yeah, I did see that you edited it. And I edit everything myself, like the videos, I do the audio, like all of it's me. And like from the very beginning, definitely you could tell that like a beginner or a novice actually handled it. But the more you practice, the just better you get. I mean, it's come to the point like I'll watch professionals just like, on cable TV or YouTube. And I always look at how I can do that because
Yeah.
the more you practice it, you can just do the same work as people who get paid tons of money for this as a career. And you can easily just teach yourself if you really just sit down, go to YouTube or just
Yeah.
practice.
If you're disciplined and you have a good amount of just natural talent, like good eye, you have to have the eye. I
Yeah.
have so many friends like I'll hand my camera to anybody because I gotta get shots of me sometimes. Like I'll frame the shot, focus shot, and I'll hand it to them. But if I don't frame the shot and I let them frame it, I'm like, hold on. Like I'll watch the playback. I'm like, this framing's terrible. Why are you framing like this? Like a lot of people don't have the eye to know how to frame things,
Oh, yeah.
and framing is so important. Camera movement or lack of camera movement. Like you have to decide. Like there's so much to know. Like you just have to. So yes, you can learn, but I think there has to be a little bit like you have to have a natural knack for it,
Yeah.
or it's just gonna be much harder. Like you'll
Yeah.
learn the technical side of how to do it, but you won't have that artsy side. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I feel you about like just giving it someone to edit because they don't. I don't really blame someone like giving my stuff to edit because they're not in my head. They can't see
Right.
what I see,
Yeah.
so it's not really their fault. And you
Just their
mentioned,
perspective.
yeah,
Yep. And it's hard, man, because they're doing the best they can. They're frustrated if you don't like it, So
I believe you pretty much did the editing, or at least played a big part in the visuals on a documentary that you made called Repurposed. So what's that about?
yeah, I mean, that was the whole purpose of that. I started filming my moving process, and because I was going to film my whole renovation, because I did a lot of the work myself and all the creative work I designed myself in the new home and studio. So that wasn't my initial plan. But then once we started editing that, I was like, hold on, we need a little backstory. Like, how did you even get to Miami? Why are you even here?
Yeah.
So that's how we got the part one. Kind of shows the backstory of what I did and what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? How I got to here. And part two is supposed to be once I moved here and started demoing, demolishing it. But through editing that, or through like I shot it all. Like all the shots of me that I wasn't, it's me handing my camera to a friend that doesn't
Yeah.
know anything, you know what I'm saying? And just like,
Yeah.
keep it focused on me.
Yeah.
But my homie Mike Johnson teamed up with me to edit that and took that on. And we've never done a documentary or anything long scale like that. He's never, like, he comes from the wedding world, you know what I'm saying? And he reached out to me. He's worked with Winds and Waves because he wanted to start filming some of my adventures. I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it." So that's how I linked up with him. But he took on this job, and it was a massive undertaking that we had no idea because we'd never done it. And so basically, it's harder than we thought, and we weren't able to get to part two just because of life and Corona and pandemic, and his wife is pregnant again, and they already have a baby. So it's just we haven't got to it. I'm talking with another buddy of mine that edits, and he might take on the job. We'll see. But I definitely don't have time for it because my focus is the music videos.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. But the whole goal is to show how I basically made this and the whole process. And, it's a side of me that a lot of people don't know. You know what I'm saying? My real estate side, my renovation side, and my creating and my artsy side of, physical art like this. So I thought it'd be cool to show that. And we'll see. It might not ever get done or it might. But I have terabytes, terabytes of footage.
Oh man.
And it's awesome. So hopefully it does get done. But who knows?
No, it's a sweet documentary, and I don't really consider myself an editor. Again, I'm just a beginner at this stuff,
Yeah.
but now I look at a lot of visuals differently,
Yeah.
and just looking at. And I'm big on documentaries, but yeah, it's a great documentary.
Thank you.
And just like how you edit it alone, at least I can say that I really can appreciate editing enough that I recognize that that's
Yeah.
some great editing that you did on that documentary.
Thank, thanks to Mike Johnson for his hard work. And man, we went back and forth on that so many times, so many times. And what happens when I work with a lot of editors, like they've never worked with someone that can dig in as deep as I do to
Mm,
refine it because they're
yeah.
used to getting a couple notes and it's done. Well, that don't work with me, dog. We're gonna do like 5, 6, 7 revisions, but that's
Oh
what it
yeah.
takes to get really dope art. And that's also why a lot of editors don't want to work with me because they're doing 2 revisions. I'm like, listen, dog, it's probably gonna take 5. Like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Like, um, and I'm here to create a product, not just to get in and out and be done. So I can only work with people that want to like team up for that and to understand that and that aren't gonna get mad, when we're trying to create the level of product we're trying to create on a shoestring or no budget. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to
Yeah.
create pro level stuff with
Yeah.
very low budget. But I think that's a gift of mine. I think I can make things look so high budget when a lot of times we don't have budget. And that's through my eye of loving nature and loving the art in nature. And I always I don't know, if you know how to pick the right spots, man,
Oh
it's
yeah.
going to look good. If you know how to film it, it's going to look special. And that's always been my goal.
You mentioned that you really want people to know like who you are and your story, which is, I guess, the reason why for the documentary. So, is there something that you can share for our listeners that you really want them to know about Benja?
Honestly, man, go watch the documentary because that really explains why I do music, how I got to where I am, um, why I'm in Miami, why I'm not in Hawaii right now, why I left Orlando. Um, it explains a lot. It goes through my whole music career. You know, kind of taps in on a little bit of everything. Shows a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff in the studio. Shows me packing up, going through the emotions. Yeah, go watch it. It's called Repurposed. YouTube, Benjah Repurposed. He'll put the link.
Yeah, it's an awesome documentary. Something I heard that I can't remember if it was mentioned on documentary, but somewhere else. But you were actually a commercial real estate appraiser. So how'd you come from doing that to music full time?
Yeah, so my real estate started like this. The first studio I worked at, the owner, an artist, was getting into investing. So had all these real estate investing books around. And one that caught my eye said Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He gave it to me. That book changed my life forever. I ended up buying an investment property, or no, it was my primary residence, but it was an investment too because rented out all the rooms to college students. So not only was I paying my mortgage, I was making $1,000 a month on top of my mortgage.
Oh,
So
wow.
and I was at a young age. So I learned how to make money with real estate. Um, and through buying that house is why I became a realtor because my realtors were so slow that like I would jump on their computer and do the searches on the MLS and I didn't even know how to use it, but I'm computer savvy enough that I figured it out.
Yeah.
Like they don't like they're so slow. Like so I basically was my realtor, just like I was my own director and didn't even know it.
Yeah.
So I was my own realtor, didn't even know it. And that's when I became a realtor. I was 20. Um, and then I did that for a little bit, but I just wasn't a really good salesman yet because I didn't understand sales enough. So that's when I became an appraiser. And I love doing appraisals. It's really fun. You don't got to deal with people. You don't got to deal with their emotions. When you're a realtor, you got to deal with a lot of things.
Mm.
Appraisers just get their address, go do their job, do the report. Boom. I loved it. A lot of freedom, and you can make good bread. You make a lot of money doing it. Did that for a while, residential, and then I got an opportunity to move to commercial appraising. I think I was like 24 at this time. So I was like 4 years into real estate, and I took it because in commercial you can just make a lot of money doing appraisals.
Oh, wow.
Um, I loved it. I had a great boss, but this is like when music just took me. It's like I was working full time and working full time music right after that in my studio, trying to learn, you know what I'm saying? Trying to create my brand, trying to develop my voice, trying to make tracks for other artists. So I would work a full 10-hour day and go right in the studio for at least 8 to 10 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like I was grinding, but that was back then when I was young and didn't need all the sleep that I need now.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of how it worked for me. And not, I didn't even last a year in commercial real estate. And I was like, boss, I gotta do music full time, man. I was like, I'm leaving this high paying job to go get paid nothing. But like, I feel heavy. The call, like I feel it. I feel God leading me here.
Hmm.
And I don't care how much money I'm making with you. I'm not happy. And he's like, I knew it. You know what I'm saying? Like he could see it, you know, and he knew it was going to come. And thank God, you know, it all worked out. You know, I actually made it, but a lot of independent artists don't. Most don't. And I know I have hundreds of friends that haven't made it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's hard, but I think my business savvy skills and my discipline and my hard work is why I've made it. You know what I'm saying? The hard work ethic that I was taught from a young age and just staying focused and not giving up, never quit, you know? So uh it's kind of how that all worked out. And real estate still to this day is um amazing for me. Like
Yeah.
it's I still invest, you know what I'm saying? Well, actually right now in this current moment it's not a good time to invest, but in the near future I think it's gonna be a great time to start buying rentals again. Um But yes, everybody, I'm going to give you free game right now. Go buy and read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Your mind will be forever changed, and you will learn about passive income. So go read it. Like, I don't care what family you came from; they probably didn't teach you all this. So
Hmm.
it's incredible. Go read it.
No, it's funny you mentioned I have a friend that's actually currently reading that book, so I
Oh,
might have to borrow that from her.
done deal.
Anyone can tell just like knowing different projects that you get involved with that you're always learning, that you're big on learning and just learning new things and just trying to delve into new projects. And you have your Winds and Waves brand. So what got you into that?
Honestly, it started from I started this hashtag Adventures with Benjah because I was always doing something. Everyone always wanted to go fishing with me or hiking with me or whatever. So it was a hashtag first, Adventures with Benjah, and then it turned into an Instagram page. And then I was like, I want to develop this, but Adventures with Benjah it's kind of capped, like because of the name. So I started thinking of like more of a brand type name, and I came up with Winds and Waves because the way that the winds work with waves or against the waves. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so crazy. But then also the Bible verse where it says, "Even the winds and waves obey Him." So um, I just loved it. You know, it's stuck, and it's like everything I do with surfing and fishing. Like winds and waves are so important. When I go fishing, I'm checking the wind. When I go surfing, I'm checking the winds
Yeah.
because the winds are in direct correlation with what the waves are going to be doing. So um, yeah, it started from that, and I really didn't know what it was going to be. And I would love to host adventure vacations because I do like local things. I don't do tour. I don't do tourists. And if you guys are listening, please stop supporting touristy things because that's not the way you should vacation. But I'm not telling you to be crazy and go get kidnapped or something like that. Be smart, be wise, be vigilant. But like whenever I go places, like I run from the tourist things. I find people, I meet people, and I dive into like local stuff because local vibes are always better than tourist vibes. So I've thought about doing that. You know, I've thought about being a fishing charter, all these different things with winds and waves. I don't know what it's going to turn into, and I'm really not putting too much thought or time into it because I'm focused on loved ones.
Yeah.
And all, like I said, it's in its infant stage, and I'm just out here fishing and traveling, and I'll do vlogs as I can and build the brand real slow, and I'm gonna let it shape itself. I've never done that, but I'm going to. I can because I don't. It's just for fun right now. But like I said, I don't want it to be too business to where these things that I love lose its fun and it becomes just business, and I don't want that. So
Yeah.
I'll let it evolve itself, and it'll play out and work itself out.
I'm always been big on ecotourism. Like I've seen like just villages kind of have their own lodges in order to try to build some tourism for people to come over there. But yeah, I always have been a big fan of ecotourism.
Yeah.
I follow you, Benja, and one thing I've noticed that you've done a couple of postings of is about juicing, and I think I've heard you mention that it's been big impact on not only your health but also your life. So how has that helped you?
Um, I've always, it's so weird. I've had a weak immune system, which is weird because I grew up very organic. My mom was very healthy. But I always had a weak immune system. So we've tried every natural supplement you can, you know what I'm saying? And nothing really worked. I was always sick. And then I got in a car accident in college and lost my spleen from that, which is a filter for your blood system. So, you know, it helps your immunity a lot. So I don't have that. So now my immune system is even weaker. Um, and a couple years ago, I started juicing, and you know, it wasn't like anything instant, but I just get sick so less, bro. Like if I get COVID, I'll probably die. You know what I'm saying? Like because I have asthma and I have a weak immune system.
Oh man.
I'll probably die if I get it. You know what I'm saying? So like it's even more important for me to juice. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way that I could eat all that I juice because I don't like half those things I juice. I don't like half the way my juice tastes, but if you just chug it, it's not a big
Oh
deal.
yeah.
Now, if you get a whole plate of greens or something super healthy that you don't like, to eat that is hard.
Oh
But
yeah.
just to chug it and get it done with,
Oh yeah.
man. And now I've gotten so used to the flavors, they really don't bother me, even the healthy ones.
Yeah.
They're not great, but my body loves them so much. My mind knows it, so it deals with
Oh
it.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like celery juice, I can't stand. I used to gag, but it's so good for me, man.
Oh yeah.
So good. Yeah.
I juice every day too, and I mean, I put mix of vegetables and fruits, and I put celery sticks, and obviously I hate celery, but the juices, like the pomegranate juice, I put in apple juice, like it overcompensates that you don't even taste it.
Yeah. Yep. You can mask it for sure, but you gotta be careful on the fruit because if you do too much certain fruits, you're basically drinking a soda of
Oh,
sugar. You
really?
know what I mean?
Did
Yep.
not know
You
that.
gotta be careful with apples and oranges. They're so
Wow.
full of sugar.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you provide good healthy advice, man. One advice I or tip that I've heard you mention before in an interview, I guess someone asked you about like just a tip to share for our listeners. You mentioned something like don't look like if you're going to do something like healthy or exercise, don't look at it as an option or like a
Yeah.
choice. Like if you look at it as an option or choice,
You're
you're
always gonna
not
say
going to do
no.
it. Yeah, you're not. So ever since I've heard that, I have to say, like, I make sure I work out or do something active every day, but now it gives me a different mindset of things as
Look at it as an option. Like I have to do this, so fit it in your schedule and just know you have to do it.
oh yeah,
Like, but you have to be militant. So it's funny. Like I've been learning a lot about myself, self discovery over this quarantine time, and I realize why I'm so militant. My family, both sides, come from the military. So obviously, my grandfathers, which were both in World War II, like they're gonna run their family like how kind of they were ran. Like
yeah,
this is how we're doing it. We're not having options. This is what we're doing. And I look back, I'm like, yep, that's the way I was raised. Like it's no options. Like this is what we're doing. But
yeah,
that discipline, although it can be like almost seem dictatorship, it instilled that in me. You know, instilled that this is good for you. Make yourself do it, even though you don't want to. Your mind is always going to say, we'll do it tomorrow, but you
yeah.
never will. If
No,
you give yourself an option, you never will.
oh yeah,
So, no options, guys. That needs to be like some book or
oh
some
yeah,
workout I
yeah,
made. I'll prophesy that down the road. I'm gonna have no option
oh
workouts.
yeah,
But honestly, nowadays, like, and you don't even gotta go to the gym. I actually recommend not to go to the gym. I love outdoor workouts. Like, so you're killing two birds with one stone. You know, getting to connect with nature, connect with God, get to see nature, not be distracted in some stinky germ gym staring
oh
at
yeah,
some girl's butt. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what guys do. So
yeah,
like get outside, go get nature, do some workouts. Like
oh yeah,
I literally do jailhouse workouts, push-ups, pull-ups, some form of sit-ups, and I run or I paddleboard. I mean, paddleboard is not jailhouse, but
yeah,
jailhouse. You can do those with nothing. Like
yeah,
I don't use weights anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's not, you can't use that excuse. I
yeah.
ain't got money for a gym or a trainer. Get over it. You don't need nothing. You need
Oh yeah.
outdoors. That's it.
You mentioned about like possibly having a book, I guess, about like fitness tips
Okay.
and stuff. So we're at a recurring segment in this podcast called Name Your Bio. So this question is, if you were to have an autobiography about your life, what would it be called and why?
That's a really hard question, but let me see if I can answer it. What would it be called and why? You know, I don't like to try to describe myself from what I think because that might not be reality. I like to know myself from what other people say. So, driven, my drive and my discipline. That's what they will say is I've never known anyone with as much drive or discipline as you. So I think you'll be connected with that. Like that's why I am where I am today is my drive and my discipline. I don't quit. I don't quit. So,
Never quit.
yep.
That's awesome. Well, Benja, since we're wrapping up, is there anything you want to share with our listeners?
Man, I have so much good content out there. I don't think I need to share. I think they need to go dive into YouTube, dive into Instagram. I have so many music videos. Go watch the new documentary, Repurposed. It's on Jahmen Media, but you can just type in YouTube, Benjah Repurposed, or any of my new videos. Go watch the new video, Frontline. The newest video behind that was Vows, which was shot in Key West, which is a beautiful song and a beautiful video. And the one with Jameer, which we talked about, that was shot here in Miami. Fire video. Go watch it all. Much love to you guys. I appreciate you. And if you're looking for anti-anxiety vibes, you found them.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate this conversation. This has been an amazing chat that we had. But Benja, thank you so much for joining us in Irie Chat and best of luck on everything.
Bless up.